Hello everyone, good afternoon, welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. Welcome to your session on vocabulary for aptitude tests. My name is Savitri Krishnamurthy. I teach English and logic at BYJU'S. We will be doing a lot of series on reading comprehension, vocabulary, grammar. So make sure you attend these. Today's vocabulary session will help you in all aptitude tests that you are taking. Your names are a little very, I have the chat box is very small, so I'm not able to see the names, but I can see the answers. Archana, hello. Yeah, I could see that name. All right, are you all ready to start? Saket, hello. Good afternoon. Yeah, the names are really tiny. I forgot to increase the font, so I have to squint and look at your names. All right, are you ready to start? Okay, before we start the session, you know what are the rules. You have to prepare. These uh, these sessions are like guides for you. So once you, these are not all comprehensive. I cannot obviously do all the words that I want to do. Yeah, hello Sonali. All right, I can't do all the words that I really want to do with you. So what am I doing? I'm choosing passages from editorials in my Tuesday editorial class. On Wednesday mostly it's vocabulary, but from next week we're thinking of interspersing vocabulary with RC, like how to eliminate options, how to identify the main point, how to answer database questions, how to answer inference questions. We'll be doing a lot of that in this. So the point is, once you get these ideas, these hints, these tips, you need to implement it. Right? There are a lot of tests that are there. We have open mocks. We have so many things going on. Take them, join our courses, and see if you implement them and do it the right way. All right, that's the point. All right, today what am I going to do? I'm going to look at, we've done a lot of fill in the blanks and contextual vocabulary where words are concerned. So I thought today we'll do something little different. We'll do direct synonyms and antonyms, words which have been asked in past year, other management entrance tests, also a couple from CAT RC passages. We'll look at idioms and phrases today. All right, and then we'll do fill in the blanks and contextual vocabulary based on idioms and phrases. Does that sound good? Ready to start? All right, let's start. Let's look at synonyms first. Identify the now remember, synonym and meaning are two different things. Well, there's a slight difference. Synonym is anything which has a similar meaning but not exactly the meaning. Synonym would give you everything. So different contexts a word is used, there would be different meanings given to it. So in an RC passage, sometimes they'll give you both the meanings of the word. Okay, the other day there was a word called, I think the word was transitive, I'm not sure. And somebody used the definition of transitive verb. Here he meant something that's transferred from generation to generation. Right? That's different. So same way, this word impunity, you know it in two different ways. Now, one of them is the meaning given here. The other meaning I have not given. So what is the meaning of impunity? Option A, strength. B, safety. C, boldness. D, impotence. What do you think is the meaning? Give me the answers quickly. One, Vedant says it's C. Only one answer so far. Where are the rest? I'm only able to see Vedant's answer. Others haven't given, or you're guessing? This was an act of impunity. He hits the ball over the bowler's head with impunity, without fear of punishment, without fear of any consequences. So therefore impunity means boldness. It also means something that cannot be punished. Okay, so that is the other meaning of the word that is normally not used. All right, second one. What is the meaning? I will be doing root words shortly. Okay, for every word I'll take you through the root words and I'll tell you what are the other words which are formed from the same root. Alright. Oh, there's a big lag between your answers and my question. Alright. See everybody, excellent. Excellent. Alright. What is the meaning of vituperative? See if you can get the answer. After that, I'll give you a sentence. What is the meaning of vituperative? Vituperative speeches, vituperative texts, okay? Hurled vituperative, that's normally not used, but it's mostly used as an adjective, okay? A vituperative speech. I think the speech that Fidel Castro gave, no, not Fidel Castro, it was Khrushchev during the Cuban crisis. He gave a speech. Fortunately, it was in Russian, and they said that in those days translations and the text was not available. But if you had heard it, your ears would have burnt. Vituperative means abusive. Excellent. Vituperation means गाली. गाली देना को vituperative बोलते हैं. All right, very good. Bucolic. What is the meaning of bucolic? Certain painters are famous for their bucolic themes. You can use it to describe scenery. You can use it to describe a theme of a painting, theme of a book. All right, what do you think is the meaning of bucolic? What is the meaning of bucolic? I hope this won't turn out to be red. It has turned out to be red. Okay, doesn't matter. What is the meaning? Wait, let me get the ink color changed. Okay. Bucolic means rural, rustic, belonging to the rural areas, pastoral. So bucolic accent, people underestimated Lalu Yadav because of his bucolic accent and his way of dressing. But he was politically so sharp, so for years he could rule. Volume is low? Really? Okay, I'll speak louder. Alright. Next, canard. What do you think is the meaning of canard? What is the meaning of canard? So let's start without a sentence first. Sentence will help you understand it better, of course. Do you know the meaning of canard? Is it better now? Okay, yes, thank you. Rumor, container, clever, or experiment. What is the meaning of canard? Whenever there is a story about anybody in the press, they first deny it, saying that the story is a canard. They said my opponents, my competitors are just spreading these evil canards about me. Canard is a hoax, a trick, but here it means rumor. Alright, a rumor, a false story somebody is spreading in your name is a canard. Alright, do not confuse it with cant. Cant means hypocrisy. Alright, fortuitous. What is the meaning of fortuitous? Something that is secret, secretive actually. Something that's secretive, something that happens by chance, something that is unfortunate, or something that follows a fixed plan. What is the meaning of fortuitous? Question 5. Fortuitous. Something that is secretive, something that is happening that happens by chance, something that's unfortunate, or something that follows a fixed plan. What is the meaning of fortuitous? Question 5. Fortuitous, what do you think it means? No, 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 this is the wrong word. Sorry, chance. My handwriting is bad, and when I write on the tablet, it gets worse. All right, so remember, when you normally use fortuitously in a positive sense. You don't say fortuitously I was struck by lightning. All right, but you say fortuitously I ran into him in the mall, and he said today is the last day for registration for CAT. It was fortuitous that I saw something in the newspaper. By chance I saw it, and normally it has a positive connotation. It means lucky. It is used to mean lucky. The dictionary will tell you happening by chance. Now what happens by chance can be accidental, can be negative too, but fortuitous and fortuitously are generally used in a positive sense, with a positive connotation. Clear? This should be chance. All right, now we come to the opposites. I have only kept the directions in one question, and I found when I was solving it just before the class, I found I made mistakes because I forgot it was the antonym, not the synonym I wanted. Which of the following is the antonym or the opposite of the given word? Inviolate. What do you think inviolate means? And what is the opposite? Pure, sacred, profane, or protected? Pure, sacred, profane, or protected. What does inviolate mean? Fortunate, fortuitous. Yeah, you can relate fortunate to fortuitous. All right, what do you think is the meaning of inviolate, and what is the opposite? I'm seeing lots of answers for C. Do you think that's correct? What is profane, by the way? What is the meaning of profane? Inviolate is something that is pure, something that has been totally protected, hasn't been marred or spoiled by anything. So the opposite is profane, which means irreverent. Don't confuse it with irrelevant. Irrelevant means I ask you something, you're saying something else. That's an irrelevant answer, not something that is outside the topic, right? Irreverent, reverence means respect. Irreverent means disrespectful. So profane means that, means something which is disrespectful, which is sacrilegious. Inviolate means sacrosanct. Yes, inviolate is sacrosanct or pure, holy, everything associated. Profane is blasphemous, irreverent, disrespectful, going against norms. That is profane. So that is the antonym, correct. What is the opposite of nefarious? First, what is the meaning of nefarious? Think about that, and then look at the opposite. Nefarious. The nefarious activities of people. Admirable, evadable, evil, or fragrant. Nefarious. Old rundown buildings normally are shown in movies to be sites for nefarious activities. Nefarious means evil, something shady, something which is not okay. So the opposite is admirable. What is evadable? Evadable means avoidable. Alright, something that you're not really looking forward to doing. Alright. The reason I gave fragrant is okay. Okay, there are three words that students often get confused about: odious, odoriferous, noxious, and nefarious. These two are connected, but they're not synonyms. Nefarious means evil. Noxious means harmful. So you talk about noxious, you actually said toxic chem. So the word poison, anything that is not good for you, all right, you call, when it is a snake bite, we call it venom. When it is poison, something that's harmful to you, it's part of a chemical, we call it toxic, right? Same way, noxious means harmful. So we use it to describe noxious fumes. Union Carbide, Bhopal gas tragedy. What happened? The fumes of carbon monoxide and all, methane, whatever escaped, turned out to be very harmful, caused death. So noxious means harmful. Odious means terrible, insufferable. You call a person odious because you can't stand that person. Terrible guy. Then you say he's an odious person. This is odious behavior. Odoriferous means something that smells bad. Okay. So from odor you get odoriferous. Okay. So that is the difference. And fragrant means something that smells good. Okay. Tenuous. Obnoxious and odious are noxious and obnoxious are not the same. All right. Noxious means harmful. Obnoxious is the same as odious, insufferable. Obnoxious person. If there's somebody you don't like, you can't stand that person, you call him an obnoxious person. If he behaves badly, if he's very rude. Some people, I'm not one of them, think Virat Kohli's aggression on the field is obnoxious. They don't like it. They can't stand him. Others say, so what? I mean, that's one way of releasing tension. He's always tense. He's focusing so much on the match. That's his outlet, to yell, to shout, to celebrate. So what's wrong with that? Tenuous. Indo-Pak relations are held by a tenuous thread. There's a tenuous relationship, very thin, very delicate, tenuous. So the opposite obviously will be strong. Now, tenuous means slim, but it doesn't mean physically slim. So you don't call a thin person tenuous. You got it? It's used to mean delicate, thin as in delicate. All right? Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, one word gone. Furtive. What does furtive mean? Tell me. We'll look at the opposite later. What does furtive mean? Can you give me a synonym of furtive which we've done in earlier? Yes, this is asking antonyms. That's the mistake I also made. All right. All right. What does furtive mean? Furtive glances, furtive encounters. Furtive means what? You glance furtively at the other person's paper. When so the most problem with I don't mind. I love taking exams. I've been taking it every year. So you can imagine. Every year CAT hota hai, I have to be there. Every year ZAT hota hai, I have to be there. I have to take the test. Right? And sometimes I look at the person to my left and right just to see what's his name, what does he do. Bore ho jate ho waiting for the test to start. So you don't want the other person to know that you're looking at his computer screen. That time you look at him in such a way, you're giving a furtive glance. Uska meaning has stealth. Stealth and secret are the meanings of furtive. Okay, the other meaning for furtive is clandestine, which means secret, surreptitious, which means secret, covert, which means secret. All right, and the opposite of that is open, honest, above board, nothing to hide. Got it? All right, we're looking at opposites. Fallow. What is the opposite of fallow? First, see if you know the meaning of fallow, but mark the opposite. Yes, do press a like button if you're enjoying the session. Fallow. What is the meaning of fallow? What's the opposite of fallow? I'm sorry. Idle, busy, inert, dormant. I'll tell you fallow days, fallow land. It's used as an adjective to describe land, to describe days. Fallow means idle, so its opposite is busy, active. Okay? Idle, inert, and dormant are the synonyms of fallow. Busy is the opposite. All right. I hope you did well. Now, always whenever you're taking it as a test, think of how many you got right, how many you need to work on. Contextual vocabulary, sentence will be given with an idiom or a phrase in it. You have tried to understand the meaning of the idiom and the phrase in the context in which it is used, then it's actually very easy. Sometimes questions are given like this, TISSNET, Maharashtra CET, all these exams have contextual vocabulary, they give you idioms and phrases. Then sometimes they give you fill in the blank. So both I have included. Even before greeting the newlyweds, the guests made a beeline for the food. Some don't even go and greet the newlyweds. Create a commotion about something, head directly towards something, eat hungrily and greedily, or waste something worthwhile. Made a beeline. How do bees move? If you disturb a hive of bees, what will happen? All of them come straight at you. Wherever you run, they'll chase you like in the comics. So make a beeline for something means head directly towards something, very fast, quickly and directly. All right, make a beeline for something. Past year, IIFT, TISSNET, Maharashtra CET, some exam ka question. I don't remember which exam. Okay. Set the ball. I forgot to underline this. What is the meaning of the host decided to set the ball rolling and got up to dance. Set the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling also. There's a slight difference, but it's all used in one sense. To cause a process to start or to continue. All right? Okay. Since she was in a bad mood, I decided to give her a wide berth. What does the expression give a wide berth mean? To give a lot of freedom, to avoid someone, to give someone advice, or to spread information about someone. To give someone a wide berth. Is it the same as to give someone a long rope? Is a wide berth the same as giving someone a long rope? I can see lot of answers for 13A, right? So I am giving you a hint. To give someone a long rope, is it the same as giving someone a wide berth? Now the sentence, if she's in a bad mood, will you give her a lot of freedom? Acha marna hai to maro. No. Give someone a long rope. Your parents decided to give you a long rope before they suddenly said, goats, to allow them a lot of area, goats or anything which is tethered, they'll give it a long rope, but there's a limit to it. So your parents say, I've given you a long rope, बहुत freedom दिया, but there's a limit to it. इसके ऊपर मत जाना. So giving somebody a long rope means giving them quite a lot of freedom to do what they want. But wide berth means to avoid somebody. Give someone a wide berth. She's in a bad mood. I better not go near her. वो उस side बैठी है. I will sit on this side, far away from her, as far away from her as possible. All right. So it is B. All right. Good. Huh, okay. The captain's resignation came as a bolt from the blue, a bolt out of the blue. Alright, both they say. Which one? What does a bolt out of the blue mean? Or bolt from the blue mean? A complete surprise. See, when you look at the stories behind the idioms, they're very, very interesting. Bolt is a bolt of lightning. Okay, you have a blue sky. You wouldn't expect the bolt of lightning in a blue sky. When there are clouds, you'd expect lightning and thunder. But suddenly, when there's a blue sky, if you have a bolt of lightning, that's a bolt out of the blue. That's a bolt from the blue. That is something that's completely unexpected. So a complete surprise or something which is completely unexpected is called a bolt from the blue. Got it? Now, because I wrote the captain's resignation, there's some students who marked B. I've had a lot of students marking B and C in the context of the passage. That is the problem with idioms. Unless you know the meaning, you can't guess, because you know what is given. The meaning of the idiom doesn't change with context. The context is made for the idiom rather than the other way around. Got it? So if you didn't know the meaning, you would guess any of these would happen. Yeah, this guy is gone from captaincy, great, okay, but that's not what it is. Complete surprise. He was not expected to resign or retire. I decided to take the bull by the horns and asked her about the missing money. What do you think is the meaning of taking a bull by the horns, or taking the bull by the horns? To fight boldly, to be extremely violent, to use unfair means, or to deal with a difficult situation directly. Question 15. Take a bull by the horns. You know, a bear is coming towards you, you catch hold of the horns. Then what are you doing? You're fighting boldly, you're being extremely violent. I think you are poor bull. All right, no, that's not what I mean. To use unfair means, or to deal with the situation directly. Confront somebody directly. All right. Somebody wrote कि it is the same meaning as आ बैल मुझे तू मार. No. आ बैल मुझे तू मार is when you're inviting trouble. All right. That is different. This is taking the bull. There are ways in which bullfighting happens, but this is when you charge at the bull's horns directly, you're going directly. You're fighting face off. All right. What is the meaning of the given expression? If any of you read Aesop's fables, you will know the meaning of a cat's paw. A secret weakness portrayed as a strength, a timid person who appears to be brave, a useful tool for any situation, or someone used as a tool to do something dangerous. What do you think the answer is for question 16? Please follow the instructions given by BYJU'S. Please press the like button. Yeah, that's all, because I find 500 views, only 30 likes. The 30 likes are the students who attended. I don't know. ईट का जवाब पत्थर से is to take very strong retaliatory measures, right? But that's not the same as this. A cat's paw. All are shown as A. My God, this is B. What has happened to me today? In Aesop's fable, there is a story, okay, of a monkey using a cat's paw to take hot chestnuts. They're like something is being roasted in the fire. Chestnuts, singhadas. They're being roasted in the fire, and it uses the cat's paws to remove it. Who will get burnt? The cat will get burnt. So when somebody is using you as a tool to do something dangerous, then you are called a cat's paw. But if you are called a cat's whiskers, the meaning is different. Find out what it means. All right. Okay. Cut your coat. I'll use them all as animal idioms. Cut your coat according to your cloth. What does that mean? Question 17. Cut your coat according to your cloth. Does it mean live within your means? Use the correct strategy to win. Learn the rules of the trade or follow instructions carefully. What does it mean? Does it mean live within your means? A. Use the question number, Vijay. Number, question number. नहीं तो पता नहीं चल रहा है. 16 years and there's a slight gap from the time I'm asking a question to me seeing your answers. Yeah. Archana thinks it's A. Nidhi also thinks it's A. I'm slowly trying to figure out the names from here. Okay, most answers are A. There's one B there, one C there. You have only 1 meter cloth, but you want to make a coat for me. होगा कि नहीं? नहीं होगा. 10 meters तो चाहिए मेरे लिए. To live within your means, to live according to your income. जितना है उतने में ही रहो. Living within your means. All right. I just used the others saying cutting cloth, so maybe a tailor. To take up the cudgels. Maneka Gandhi is an animal lover, so when somebody was talking something about bulls in the 80s, early 80s, there were a lot of bulls on the roads of Delhi. People, once the usefulness of that bull is over, they used to leave it on the roads because they won't kill a cow or a bull. So she took them all and made a shelter for them. And then somebody asked her, there's so much poverty in India, why are you doing it for the bulls? She said, what's wrong? I'm an animal activist. This is 80s. 80s mein there were no animal activism wasn't such a big thing. So she took up the cudgels for animals. She said they also deserve good treatment. And people are asking, people are dying, why are you doing for animals? I love animals, that's why I'm doing it. So to take up the cudgels means to fight for a cause, to fight for somebody. Okay? It does mean to start a fight, but not exactly to initiate it, to fight. All right? All right. No context now, so this becomes difficult. The British were not very fond of the Dutch. So whenever they, or the French for that matter, so whenever they use the word French or Dutch before any expression, you knew that that word was not very positive. Okay? So when you go for a meal, right? If you split the bill, then they call it going Dutch. Nothing wrong with it. You pay for your meal. For the British, it was a break of etiquette. If a guy took a girl out for dinner and you'll say, let's split the bills, in those days they said, oh, he's asking her to pay. Nothing wrong with it. But that was called going Dutch. Dutch courage, what do you think it is? Knowing that it is a British saying, it must be negative. There's another expression called French leave. French leave means taking leave without prior permission, bunking off, it's just not going. That's called French leave. So what do you think Dutch courage means? An accidental act of valor, bravery induced by alcohol. Okay, let me give you one more hint. Lot of the funniest scenes of Amitabh Bachchan are a case of him in his character displaying Dutch courage. One place where he talks to the mirror for 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes. Okay, so what do you think? Bravery under the influence of alcohol. You don't know what you're doing, then you'll be very brave. You'll be ready to fight with the tiger also, because you don't know what you're doing, right? All right, what do you think is the meaning of an eye for an eye? It was part of a very famous speech. An eye for an eye will leave everyone blind. But what is the actual meaning of an eye for an eye? To make someone blind, to pay back an old debt, to recover an old debt, or to retaliate. What do you think is the meaning of an eye for an eye? Was Gandhiji's policy of ahimsa and non-violence an example of an eye for an eye? It was the other way. If somebody slaps you, show him the other cheek. Okay. On the other hand, an eye for an eye will say, if somebody slaps you, hit him 10 times. Okay, all the cheeks. And eye for an eye means to retaliate, to do evil for evil. Okay, that is an eye for an eye. He did evil to me, I will also give it back. Tit for tat. That is an eye for an eye. Okay.